Okay, so there's 5 places in total that you can find Cyclops Engine Fragments, but one of the most popular places is the Crash Zone, which is right behind the Aurora, for some reason. But the Crash Zone is probably the worst place. Not sure why so many people go there first when it should honestly be your last option. You can reach the Crash Zone by simply looking. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you're standing because the Aurora is so freaking big. You're just gonna look for the Aurora, which is, right here. You easily see it when you're at the surface or whatever. And you just want to go like just behind its engines, and then you'll end up in the little area where the engine fragments spawn. Okay, so first reason why I think this place sucks is because of how small it is. And when you compare that with the other biomes that you can find engine fragments, the main biome I want to compare it with is the mountains, because that's another biome that has reapers in it that you can also find engine fragments. But the thing about the mountains is like 2 times bigger than the crash zone. But I'm not talking about like because I know the crash zone's like bigger than just this little area. But like this little area is like the only area that you can find engine fragments. So it's the only area you can be searching in. And of course, there's a reaper in this area. I think there's two. There's 2 or 3, I think. But because this area is so small and there's a reaper always swimming around, you're basically gonna be running into the reaper like every other minute while you're in this biome looking, because the biome is so freaking small. But yeah, it's a really small area to be searching for engine fragments in. And with this reaper, even though the mountains has like 7 reapers in it, it's way bigger, and you can find engine fragments like across the entire biome. So you're not confined to this like one little area where there's constantly a reaper swimming around that you're going to be constantly running into over and over again. It's going to be way harder for you to avoid the reaper, like avoid running into the reaper here, because the biome is so small. And if you bring a vehicle over here, it's a pretty good chance he's just gonna draw the reaper to you like way quicker than anything. Okay, no, I hear the second reaper over there. But yeah, overall, this area is like super small. It's one of the first reasons why this place sucks, because the area is really small, and because of the reaper here. If the reaper wasn't here, the size wouldn't matter. But because there's a reaper here and he's always swimming in this little area, the size matters, because it makes it super hard to avoid him when you're in this little area. Second reason why this biome sucks is because, well, you probably noticed that it's got like a sort of like foggy, like dusty, murky-esque water to it, and it really messes up the visibility because it makes it kind of hard to see things far away. And when there's reapers in the biome constantly making noise, swimming around you, you sort of need to be able to see a little further away so you don't like run into one, or so you can avoid one if it's coming towards you. But you'll never know unless you're like a few feet near it when there's reapers swimming around, because they move kind of fast, and once they get kind of close, they're already coming after you, so it's like kind of hard to avoid. I was playing like a regular survival game, he probably would have came after me by now. Look, and now he's basically gone, and he didn't even go that far away from me. Again, we're going to compare this to the mountains, because another biome that you can find engine fragments, but there's also reapers there. In the mountains, it's way easier to see. That scared me a little, my freaking gosh. It's way easier to see the reapers, even though there's a lot of them. It's way easier to see them from like a mile away, because the biome isn't super murky and the water isn't dusty like it is here. If you can see them super far away, it makes it way easier to avoid them, instead of just randomly bumping into them like you do here, or like you would here. If you had a vehicle with sonar in this biome, then I guess it wouldn't really matter that much. But yeah, overall, it's kind of hard to see in this biome, and it wouldn't be an issue if there weren't giant leviathans swimming around. But because there's giant leviathans swimming around and it's already hard to see in here, that's another problem, because it makes it just that much easier for them to sneak up on you, or you like just carelessly wandering towards one without you even knowing. So you're definitely gonna have to use your ears more in this biome than actually being able to see, unless you have sonar. I mean, if you have sonar, it doesn't really matter that much, but it's still something worth mentioning. Last reason I think this biome sucks is because, well, there's other options that are way better than this one. And I'm mainly looking at the underwater islands and the crag fields, because those are two other places you can find engine fragments, but there's no reapers in those biomes. So why the freak would you come to the crash zone first when you got two other options, two other way safer options than having to deal with these freaking monstrosities swimming on your back and not being able to see? Now there is like there's a pretty moderate chance, I'd say, that those two biomes that I just mentioned won't have any engine fragments, which would be unfortunate because that means you'd have to come here or the mountains. But I still think you should check those places first before coming here. Like coming here should be like a last resort because even the mountains is better than this biome. One thing you'll have to deal with in terms of like threats in the other places are bone sharks. Yeah, just bone sharks really, and they aren't that bad unless you aren't paying attention. If you don't pay attention, they can kind of mess you up. But like y'all are smart, so they aren't gonna be that big of a deal. But yeah, only come to the crash zone as a last resort because this place freaking just dookie. It's the worst place you can search for engine fragments in this game. Hence why you should come here last if you can't find any fragments anywhere else. So literally just check every other place first, and then if all that doesn't work, then make the unfortunate decision of coming here.